Do you want to play a game of Magic? Sure. How do you want to play? We could do Standard, Modern, Commander, Legacy, Vintage, Brawl, Oathbreaker, Draft, Sealed, Conspiracy, Pauper, or even Pioneer. On second thought, in my second main phase, I play a Hordeling Outburst, which allows me to put 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens out onto the battlefield, which triggers Perforous God of the Fords enter the battlefield ability. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Perforous deals 2 damage to each opponent. And since I also have the enchantment Impact Tremors, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to each opponent. And because I also have the Panharmonic artifact, if an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time, triggering the Impact Tremors again, and also Perforous God of the Fords. Meaning I do 18 damage straight to your face, bringing your life total down to 2. Look, if you wanted to beat me up, you could have just done it the old-fashioned way. Alright everybody, it's time to brainstorm some ideas for a new Magic the Gathering set. What have we got? Maybe we should do something a little bit different this time. Perfect. I pay 1 green mana and play a 1/1 elf creature. I tap 2 island mana and play Disperse to return target non-land permanent back to its owner's hand. I tap a forest and put out my 1/1 elf creature again. Counter target spell. I said I'm playing my 1/1 elf. I play a Gilded Lotus, which I then tap to add 3 mana of any one colour, which I use to cast my Vendurous Gearhulk onto the battlefield, and then I pass the turn. On my turn, I play a basic land and then tap my lands, and also tap this pebble, rotate this rock, and flip this brick. And thus my mana rocks provide me with 4 mana of any colour I choose, and thus allowing me to cast my Dragon out onto the battlefield. Whoa, hang on a sec. You're not allowed to have that in your deck. So in my second main phase, I play a land and pass the turn. On my turn, I'll play a land which triggers landfall, which means each plant creature that I control gets a +1/+1 counter on it. And because I've got the Hardened Scales enchantment out, whenever I place a +1/+1 counter on a creature, it gets 1 extra additional +1/+1 counter on it. Trigger, 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 trigger. Trigger, 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 trigger. Well, I play Cyclonic Rift, and I choose to overload it. So on my turn, I cast Ancestral Statue, and because I've got Anima, Soul of the Elements, my legendary creature, which has protection from white and from black, and whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1 counter on Anima, Soul of Elements, which I buff it up to 5, and creature spells cost 1 less to cast for each +1 counter Anima. So because I cast Ancestral Statue, when it enters the battlefield, return non-land permanent back to its owner's hand. It's 4 generic mana to cost, meaning I get to cast it for free. And because I've got Impact Tremors enchantment, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, does 1 damage to each opponent, meaning that this flickers in and out of the battlefield infinite times, creating an loop and an infinite combo doing infinite damage straight to your face. So if this TikTok is an infinite loop, what does that make that combo? I cast Naturalize and destroy your enchantment. Then I attack you with all of my creatures. I sacrifice my Spore Frog and prevent all combat damage dealt this turn, which means your attacking creatures deal no damage. I play land and then pass the turn. So on my turn, I use Muldrotha the Gravetide's ability. During each of your turns, you may play up to 1 permanent card of each permanent type from your graveyard. Meaning I return my Spore Frog, the enchantment you destroyed, an artifact, a planeswalker, and a land back onto the battlefield. I then attack you with 5 of my big beast creatures with trample. Oh boy, I take the damage. Wait, what are you doing? I think this deck could use with a little more salt. I cast a Sunblade Angel and pass the turn. I cast my Planeswalker, OKO Thief of Crowns, and increase his loyalty by 1 to turn your angel into a 3/3 green elk creature. I cast a fairy, elk, human noble, elk, human knight, elk, cat, also an elk, unicorn, elk, giant soldier, elk, scarecrow, elk. How about some equipment? Elk. I play my Somberwald Stag, a 4/3 elk creature. Elk. Why have you got those tools? You said you needed help building a deck. What I meant was, could you please help me build my Magic the Gathering deck? Hey dude, did you hear that they updated the Magic the Gathering ban list today? Oh, thanks man, I better check my collection to see if I own any of them. Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, banned. Sundering Titan, Banned Paradox Engine. Banned OKO Thief of Crowns. About to be banned my mono blue deck. Banned common, uncommon. Oh my god! Oh my golly gosh! This is the first Planeswalker card I've ever cracked from any booster pack! So excited! Wait a sec.